God and everybody is on the same page. The fact to depend on human beings or why? Like God Almighty. Right? So that's the concept, that idea of what Christ did, not to let his creation go to the depths of their evil and murder God. Like, and took it so he could forgive. So everything. The kenosis from that is like change the way you think. Because the way we think is all about what are my rights? What do I get out of this? How do I stand up for what's justice for me? Right? And the way we change the way we think is actually how do I get to love the person who loved me and dead? And how does that change me to be my God? You know, it's like it's a completely different idea. What it is to be human, what it is to be God, what it is to live this human existence and be involved in it in any way. Why is it always empty when we get justice? You see some family watching somebody on death row die because their loved one was murdered and they wanted to see it and they throw more into that. Right? That's the justice you want. Like we're in the middle of hello? We're in the middle of all these wars and we're back and forth about what's righteous and everybody's waiting to kill their enemy and everybody has their own justification for it. And that's just a different way of thinking. So with Reconcile, in my mind I was thinking about when do we reconcile? Like my family's messed up. We reconcile, we have to figure it out when somebody dies and they're in a funeral. We have to figure it out when there's a wedding or we don't. And it just looks jacked up, right? And so I just went through a death in my family. We had to figure it out. Some people weren't there. And weirdly enough, some people I didn't think would be there were there. And there was reconciling, right? And so it says at the beginning, come and be reconciled at the wedding of the funeral pyre. You know, I'm looking at you going, you screwed my life up. And then I'm like, well, I screwed things up too. And they screwed you up. And then who screwed them up? And I don't know, right? So we all have, in the end, look at ourselves, because that's a trick that will keep us like trapped when we're looking at somebody else going, well, they're the problem, instead of looking at ourselves. You know, that was a message from I'm So Sick back in Flyleaf days, like, until we figure out what's messed up about us, we're not going to do anything in the world to make it any better. Kind of the idea. But it's also, weirdly enough, I became an Orthodox Christian in the past 4 years, which is a different way of thinking about. It's actually more close to the way I understood in my first encounter with God at 16. And then my whole journey with going through, I didn't know there was a difference between Christians. I thought they all had that experience. But I had a near-death experience like that actually made me think, it was terrifying. And I never heard anybody talk about God the way that I experienced him. It's not that he's evil, but that we are. And it's terrifying to be in front of complete, perfect, holy goodness and love when you're full of hatred, right? So that's the idea. And that was a terrifying part of it. You want to hide, but you can't because he's light. You want to erase the past, but you can't because you're in eternity. It's all present. It's hard to explain, but in the end, like when I became Orthodox, I had those exact same experiences. Like not like a near-death experience, but my encounters with holiness were similar to that. And and so weirdly enough, they have a practice of confession, which in Catholic Church, which is not, I'm not Catholic, but it's called reconciliation. I didn't even know that. But that's the concept, is you're going and looking at yourself and you're like, I'm screwed up, and if I can't even say this in front of some dude that's a sinner, how could I stand in front of God, who's like so full of love and ready to hold me, but I just don't want to face myself, right? Can we come? Can we face ourselves? And what is it that keeps us? It's pride, right? It's pride that keeps us from admitting, and that's death, almost. Die. That's a very long answer, but you ask her like that song. I mean, the whole album is hard to talk about. Are you recording this? It's okay. I'm not trying to talk to everybody.
My daughter.
Oh, okay. I'm talking to you guys because you asked a question. I don't want to tell somebody that doesn't want to know, because it's really important to me. Right? I'm not going to talk to everybody about this. But if people get something out of the song, it's their own thing, I want to respect that. If you're asking me what I'm telling you. You seem like you want to know. That's what I'm saying. And then all of you are listening, and forgive me if it's offensive, but that's just for her.